everybody, and welcome back to Crafting with Miss Kendell. My name is Miss Kendell, and I work at the Wayne County Public Library Children's Department. With winter well underway right now, I'm sure we've seen a lot of snow so far. If you're like me, and sometimes being out in the snow is not very fun, you can always do crafts inside that are nice and warm. Today's craft, I'm going to show you how to make your very own unique-looking snowflake that you can then hang up in your room, on the fridge, or even on your Christmas tree if you still have it up. I know I still have mine up even though it's not Christmas anymore. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to make your very own unique little snowflake. And we're going to be using something strange today to make the little white lines. We are going to be using little cotton swabs. So if you have some of these in your bathroom, these you can actually use to make a little snowflake. So to make your snowflake, you are going to need some colorful paper. I'm, of course, using some construction paper that's like thick, and I have my favorite color, of course, purple, but you can use any color that you want. You're going to need, of course, your cotton swabs. Today, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I have about 6. And then you're going to need some string. You can use any colored string that you like. You're going to need some liquid glue, scissors, a pencil, or something to write with. You're going to need something round that you can trace to make the circle. And you're going to need a hole puncher. If you don't have one of these, you can always use the pointy end of your pencil to poke the hole through your snowflake. I also have some newspaper here in case I make a mess, because sometimes liquid glue can be a little messy. You're also going to need an adult with you in case if you need some help. So, the very first thing that we're going to do is trace the circle outline of our snowflake. So I'm going to take my paper here, and I'm using just a roll of duct tape for the circle because I like the size, but you can use anything that you have that is circular shaped, no matter how big or small, to make the little shape that you want. So I'm going to use this, lay it down. I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm just going to trace around. This is like sort of an easy way to draw a circle, is to just get something you have lying around the house, like this, or even like the lid to a sour cream or cottage cheese container, or just anything that's this shape. And we're going to trace our circle, so it looks like that. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut around the outline of that circle you just made, so that it looks something like this. There we go. Next, we are going to take one of the cotton swabs, one full one, and we're going to take some glue, and I'm going to put glue right along the edge of either end. That's like the cottony part. And I'm going to lay that down right in the middle of our circle. And I'm going to press down and kind of count in my head for a couple seconds, just so that it's nice and stuck down. I usually hold it down for like 10 seconds. That's a good rule of thumb, and when you're using liquid glue. Helps it to stick nice. Okay, so it should look something like that right down the middle. Now comes sometimes messy but fun part of cutting our Q-tips. So to make this outline, you're going to need one full Q-tip. You're going to take another Q-tip and cut it in half. And then you're going to take, let's see, 1, 2. You're going to take another one and cut it in half. So to make those two halves, we're going to need 2 Q-tips. We're going to take our scissors, and we're going to trim. Now, sometimes when you do this, the Q-tips can fly everywhere, so I'm going to hold this in a strange way. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, that will happen. That's the funny part of cutting Q-tips. You never know where they're going to fly. So with our little Q-tip that's cut in half, we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to put some glue on the cotton end of 1/2 and lay that right next to our Q-tip that we just put down. We're going to hold it for a couple seconds so it sticks. There we go. So it looks like that. I'm going to take the other half we just cut, put some cotton, some glue on that cotton, Stick it right on the other side. And press down so it gets nice and stuck. There we go. So it almost looks like the plus sign. And then we're going to take another Q-tip and we're going to cut it again so that it flies everywhere. Let's see if I can get it to not fly across the table. Ooh, there we go. This part can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're doing this by yourself. You may want an adult to cut the Q-tips for you just so that you don't cut yourself. But we're going to put that kind of in the corner, the one area of the little plus sign we just made. Press it down so that it looks something like that. And we're going to take that other half and glue it on the opposite side. And this is just one way to make a snowflake. You don't have to do it this way. If you want to put your cotton swabs any way that you like onto your circle, that's a cool way to do this as well, because then the snowflake is unique to you. But if you do it this way, it'll look something like that. So it's almost like we went shoo, 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 kind of like that. Or I guess shoo. But you're just going to keep doing this little pattern. And eventually, after a while, putting in all your little snowflake pieces, it'll look something like this. So to make these little parts up here, the little tiny ones that kind of are branching off of the little halves that we put in, you're going to take your Q-tips and you're going to cut just this part off right here. So it's not halfway, but it's almost like half of a half, so a fourth. If you're like me, you were never good at fractions. I'm still not good at them, but you're basically just going to cut the cotton part off of it. So I'll show you how to do that. So just the end. There we go. Oh, of course it flew away from me. That's perfectly okay. But yeah, so then you just have the little tiny end part of your cotton swab. So you're going to need a lot of those as well. And then you're going to glue them onto each of the little ends so it looks like a snowflake. So once it's all dry, you're going to want to let this dry for at least a whole day. I know it's hard to wait that long, but just be patient because it'll be worth it when it's all dry. So now we get to put the string on our little snowflake. So this is where you have your hole puncher come in. And if you don't have a hole puncher, you can always use the pointy end of your pencil and make a little hole for your string. But I'm going to use a hole puncher, and I'm just going to go at the top part of my snowflake and just poke a little hole out there. And then we're going to get our string, and looks like a good amount. You can use any color of string you like. I just happen to have this on hand. And we're going to poke it through the hole. Oops. There we go. And we're going to tie a little knot so that it makes like a loop here. There we go. And then I'm going to trim those little ends just a little bit. And there we have our snowflake. So with this, you can hang it up in your bedroom. You can even, if you make the loop a little bigger, you can hang it on your doorknob. You can put it on your fridge, or if you're like me and you still have your Christmas tree up, you can hang it onto your Christmas tree. There we go. So then everybody that comes to your house or everybody in your family can see the wonderful little wintertime craft that you made. But that is it for today's snowflake craft, and I will see you guys next time.